What's up, everybody? Welcome to the CanesInSight Daily Podcast, powered by Anajar and Levine Victory. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. It is Victory Monday. They are Victory Attorneys. Man, it was a long night last night. Watching a lot of replays, shaking out the cobwebs, just like FSU. Castellanos, they'll be shaking out the cobwebs for a week after some of the hits they took. But man, feeling good to be state champs. Feeling good to be 5-0, getting through this slate. We all look at this schedule for a couple of years, just looking at this part of the schedule, circling it, underlining it. We're through it. 5-0, healthy, considered by many to be the number one team in the country, and we're complaining about not beating teams bad enough. That's where we're at, and feels good to be here, man. It's been a long journey in the desert, man, 20 years. So now complaining about not beating FSU bad enough, I can work with that. So folks who won't be complaining about Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, if you or someone you care about has been injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation. Dial 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Pete, that had a great post-game, Pete, after the game. You can check that one out. He was bringing the energy as usual with the post-game recap. But he is on the pitch. He's on the soccer field. So I'm bringing somebody I know is only about that American football. My guy. Category 6 Canes, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m., bringing it. One of my favorite guests, man himself. You know from the spaces, you know from Category 6, you know from Twitter. 50, how we doing?
Oh, we're doing real well. State champs. We run the state. We should be number one. Hey, and another thing, Tallahassee, Florida. You live from Tallahassee, Florida. I wish I was there, man.
Hey, Miss Tony said it, man. So we had to bring it out. Miss Tony's got the branding mind. This Mally's mom. She was talking about FSU fans were disrespectful to the Miami families. Which I gotta be honest. When I was here, they weren't disrespectful at all. They weren't doing anything. They were quiet as church mouse the whole time. They were honestly the energy I thought was low. To be honest with you, in the stadium, on the streets, we were walking all their cane stuff. No one did anything. But I guess to her, they were being very disrespectful. So I think she got a little bit of revenge there. On Saturday, and then she branded it. Boom, Tallahassee. She's printing the shirts.
Oh yeah, Tallahassee, Florida. I definitely got to get one of those.
So the Chasers already in the chat.
Oh man, shout out to the Chasers, Manny Hill 919. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So hey, listen, we're 5-0. We're here with 5-0. How we feeling?
I'm feeling real good. Only thing I want to see though, D Money, 13 penalties. We got to clean that up. That's it. 13 penalties. 114 yards. They got hidden yardage. I don't like that.
Yeah, you look at that box score. It doesn't look as pretty as you'd like. But it's funny though. You see it on Twitter, like people like circling the turnovers. Like, yeah, this is a real even game. It was just the turnovers were the difference. Like they were doing anything for 80% of that game. But I think they know. I mean, if you're Florida, you're Florida State, and I know you're in the trenches more than anybody because you're on those spaces. Yeah. You're getting after these guys. I know you got some money you got to collect.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
So, if you're a Florida State fan right now here, as we say here, October 5th, and you look at Miami and what they're doing and how they beat these teams. I know Florida's telling lies about Dallas Wilson or whatever, other player magically gets
he's pretty good.
Let me get a shout out real quick before we get into it. My boy, Coach Duaso at Raw. Yeah. This guy had Malachi Toney and Dallas Wilson on the same team last year.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, the best receiving core in college football on 7-on-7 team. Let's see another dude. So shout out to Duaso. But these FSU UF fans, I want you to touch on this. I know you're in the trenches. You're throwing punches. They can't be feeling good about life right now.
Nah. Now they I say this on my show. I'm gonna say it here. All my ops in hell. Yeah, they are in hell. D Money. They gonna stay there. They're not getting a glass of water. We run this like, bro. They always end up below me, D Money. It's crazy. They always end up below me. It just happens that way.
It's a natural order of life, man. It's the state champs. Look at the national championship rankings. You look at the head-to-head rankings. You just look at the influence around the country. Once we're rolling, how it fills up and how the media gets onto it because it's a brand. So it's kind of like, remember the Lion King when Mufasa's talking to Simba about the natural order things. He's like, yo, we eat these guys here. These guys kind of listen to us over here, and we're on top right here on this hill. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is. Like, Like, yeah. Matter of fact, what's that gift where the dude, he stands on the top of the cliff, he lift up his shades, smiles, and walk off. Like, that's us. Like, we just,
you talking Shawn Michaels?
yeah. Like,
No,
yeah,
Don Johnson.
it was like, I think in the movie, he looked, peeps from the, you know what I'm saying? Lift his shade up. Look, I think he looked through binoculars or something. Smile,
Yeah.
keep it moving. Like, yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
We them guys. Like, we at the top, man. We are at the top.
So let's break down the game a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, the stats, everyone waking up looking at the stats, not going to see. Obviously, everybody watching this probably watched the game. But you look at the stats, you're not going to see the story. But really, to me, the story of this game, and we talked about it on the show I did with Pete right before on Friday morning or Saturday morning. We said, you know, who's the player of the game? I said Carson Beck, because these guys are so weak up front. They're going to have to load up just to have a chance against Mark Fletcher and Marty Brown and all these guys. So because they got to overcommit to the run just to survive, Carson Beck, you know, he wanted to show what he can do. Of course, Malley, CJ Daniels. Shout out to CJ. What do you think about the passing game here?
I'm glad I got to finally see it without rain. Like, this is what I was waiting on, a Carson Beck game without rain. And, oh, man, he's a sniper.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And the time, too, that he had, I mean, with that kind of time, it's over with.
Yeah, bro. All right.
So just, you know, looking at this country and seeing some of the teams out there, you're hearing Miami being talked about as the number one team potentially in the country. Obviously, it doesn't matter to the playoffs. You know, Ohio State lost to Michigan, and then they went on and won the playoffs. So this season's this format, like, it's hard to kind of say, like, hey, this was going to happen. It's just there's too much season in it, right? It's like there's too much. Like, it's not like back in the day where by this time you know, let's say in 1996 or whatever, pick a random year, not 2000. 2004. Like, at this time of the year, you're kind of like, all right, these are the teams, you know, there's only a few teams that can win it. Everybody's already had some bad losses. Like, it's much more predictable. Now with this playoff, it's a long season. Guys are going to emerge. There's going to be different ups and downs. But right now, as we sit here, October 5th, where do you think Miami ranks in the country?
Number one. Like, Ohio, I know they're gonna give it to Ohio State, and I respect it because they the natty champs. But hands down, off a resume alone, number one. Because Florida State fans, they told me they got 8 Ruben Baines. So off that alone, we're number one. We just beat 8 Ruben Baines.
Yeah. You're so plugged into like all this like nonsense on Twitter that I see it move on, and I know you guys like do like a whole like segment on, or you talk about this spaces a lot. It's like, man, what are these guys talking about? I mean, they thought that they were 2 and 10, and they're gonna get in the portal in the bargain bin, the Dollar Tree, and they're gonna be pulling out guys that are gonna get it from 2 and 10 to the top 5. I mean, they really convinced themselves of this stuff, just like U.S. Gators are convincing themselves now that after we beat them 26-7 with our C game.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that? 3 scores with our C game.
Right.
And now they're talking about, hey, we got a true freshman that looks good. We're back. We're one of the best teams in the country. I mean, I'm glad for the resume aspect of it, but I just hope they convince themselves that Billy's got it rolling. Yeah, and they just bring him right back and keep and keep the thing moving. Because I don't know how you watch those Florida and Florida State games and not say there's a giant gap between Miami and the rest of the state. Just trenches, talent, the whole operation.
Yeah, man. And what's crazy, like, you look at it, like, Mario ain't lie. He said you could tell the trajectory. Yeah, see? Yeah, they said that, man. Yeah, we beat them with 1 Ruben Bain. They had 8 of them. But, man, it just crazy, like, how the trajectory, what he said when he punched the desk and all that, hey, he still meant it. You know what I'm saying? All that keep pounding, we doing all that. Like, we're doing what he said we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, we got to clean up the penalties, and I feel we do that. I feel like that was kind of the most undisciplined our defense played, and it still was dominant.
Yeah, it was dominant. I went back home, and it's probably the reason why I'm so groggy this morning, and why I woke up later than usual. I missed my early drive that I was going to do to tally. Is like I went home. I didn't watch it. Usually I watch a condensed game right after just to get get that flow. But then I watched the whole game. So I was watching the whole game, like Fallon Herb Street, the TV broadcast before I went to sleep. And man, it's crazy how much we're like, I would say hitting after the whistle. It's not hitting, but just like physical contact after the whistle. You know what I mean? Like we're pushing guys, like we're just like bumping guys, like and it's not a two-way street. It's us kind of doing it to them and them not doing anything. So it's like the physicality. Yeah, you see the plays and the way we play whistle to whistle, but it's like the whole game. This defense is just playing with that kind of energy where they're just like, it's disrespectful, really, the way they play football.
Yeah. And I love it. Like, that's the Miami I grew up on right there. That nastiness, that we in your face, like it's gonna sound crazy, but if they didn't play football, we know what they would be. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Leave it at that, though. It's gonna sound crazy. I can say that. You don't gotta say nothing. Don't pretend like I didn't say that, D-Money, but we know what they would be. Like, cause that's the mentality they got. Like when
the helmet comes on. When the helmet comes on.
Yeah, when the helmet's
like
on.
Superman cave. You know?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like Jacoby Thomas, come on, man. Yeah, that man is different.
He's scary, man. He is scary. And he's showing how athletic he was. We were talking about it before we went on that, like, you know, we knew he could hit. I didn't know that he was that fast as how fast he is. I mean, he's running the guy. He ran down Castellanos, no problem. I got to call him Castellanos now because he's got that second L.
Yeah,
you know, he's been asking for that Castellanos.
Yeah,
so we gave
him the field where not in Tallahassee. Come on, man.
He you know, he better you know, he's not going to go pro in football. So if he wants to like kind of embrace that Cuban heritage, now's the time to send a resume down to Miami and some of the businesses we got listening to this show because you know, football's not going out for him. You know, after this season. I mean, that he's a good college player. I mean, he can make a game close like this at the end. Like he could, you know, do that. What he did at the end, game's already over. He's out there running around making fourth downs and trying to get.
Yeah, they were 3 or 4 on fourth down. We got to clean that up too. They were 3 or 4 on fourth down. We got to get off the field. Like that 4th and 8, we shouldn't have gave up. But like it's like I like nitpicking because I feel like we're destined for greatness. And I feel we're gonna do better. Oh, you can put that up. That's a paid one down there.
Yeah, no, you know, Lord Bakerton, that's the guy right there. I love his name. And all his comments based on Malley, Fitzgerald, game management, improving. That's going to be a point of contention we'll talk about. I mean, I like the wins, but yeah, there's always stuff. Like you said, there's a high standard. There's always stuff you can improve on. And that's when you're at that level where you're trying to win a championship. That's why I like this. Look, I don't love having buy, right? But we're 5-0, so it is what it is. And now I think this bye week, at least you go into it with some stuff you can dig into, right?
Yeah. And you want to know something? You know, he said 8 Ruben Veins and ain't done and showed up in that garden. Man, and it's crazy. It's crazy how that works. But
Canes saying stop with the analytics in the fourth, or Des Taylor saying Canes saying stop with the analytics in the fourth quarter. 2 true freshmen All-America. Let me say something, 50, because you know that I'm the biggest Malachi Tony booster, promoter there is, right? You every day, this spring, this camp, I was out there with my boy Ralph, my girl Miss Tony. We're just sitting there watching this guy kill it every single day at practice. Yeah. Consistently. And I would come in and say the same thing. I remember I talked to you. I remember being at my kid's baseball practice and I was talking to you on the phone and you're like, hey man, what's really going on? I'm like, listen, don't let anyone tell you anything different. 10. That's the guy. Not for future, for right now, for this season. Yeah. And I thought I hyped him a lot. I thought I couldn't hype him more.
And I was hyping him, but man, when you told me that, I went overdrive with the hype.
But you know what though? At least I can speak for myself. I underrated him. Because I did not know that he had this level of speed.
Yeah.
I knew he had the quickness. Yeah. I knew his IQ.
Yes.
The mental part of the game was elite. I knew that the hands were there, the ball skills, all of that. Yes. I knew he was going to keep getting better. I did not know he had that kind of speed. I remember I was talking to Carson Beck's quarterback coach, Coach Denny. He's like, you know, he kind of reminds me of Tyreek Hill. Because Beck and Tony are tight. You could see it on the sideline. You could see the way they play on the field. But he's like, listen, I think this guy's like Tyreek Hill. I'm like, you know, I could see that he wears a number 10, whatever. But I'm like, I don't know. I mean, is he that fast? I mean, that's like, we're talking, you know, 4.3 with Tyreek Hill's like 4.2. But it's like, you know, that's a different kind of speed we're talking about. Then you watch this game yesterday, play that got called back. The ones he scored on, it's like, man, he's He's
pulling
separating
away.
the dudes.
Yes, like he's pulling away. And another thing, like Ohio State fan called me. He was like, "Hey man, I'm not gonna lie, that kid remind me of Jackson Smith and Jigba." I'm like, "Ooh, you know what I'm saying?" And I'm thinking Antonio Brown, not his pops. I'm talking about the NFL player.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm like, because I see that, and I'm like, Jackson Smith and Jigba, that's a good one. That man had 1,600 yards in college. The one season he was healthy with 9 touchdowns. So I'm like, and Amon, I've been told him before the season his record got broken, but he knew it too. He knew it too, like his record finna get broken. But he a good sport about it and all that. But yeah, like Antonio Brown, Jackson, like bro, all the comparisons have been greats. It ain't been not one scrub. And you can't help but give it up.
He's already great. That's the thing about it. Is like, oh, there's Lord Baconton right there. Played a B game. Imagine what an A game looks like.
Man, I can't wait.
But yes, like the reason you got to compare him to greats, I think, is because he right now, if it's not CJ Daniels, right? It could be CJ Daniels, and we'll talk about him in a second. But if not CJ Daniels, I mean, this guy's the best receiver in the ACC, easy. Right now, I mean, Wesco's good for Clemson. You know, they got some good players out here in the ACC. But unless I'm missing something, I mean, this dude right here is the best receiver in the conference. If it's not our guy CJ Daniels, who we're going to talk about in a minute because he was balling too. But you know, Bagging Up makes a good point, which is that Mally's pops was world class fast. The whole Delap Brown, the whole story. So people get confused when we say Antonio Brown. So sometimes I'd make this comparison. 50, I know you just made this comparison. We compare Mally to Antonio Brown from the NFL, who's also from Miami.
Right.
But Mally's dad, Della Brown, who played at West Virginia, is also named Antonio Brown. Like that's his name too. So it's confusing. But Mally's dad, right, his blood, he was a speed guy. Like he raced Devin Hester on the streets. That's like the whole legend and beat him. So that maybe those genes are kicking in. I mean, not that he was slow before, you know what I mean? But like, it might like that. He's only 7 or he just turned 18. So he's still kind of getting that speed to its ultimate level. And man, and we got Steve-O. See, we got Steve-O 365 coming in, our boy. Talk receivers in a second. Let me get him in. Let me just
man. I can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, man, he breaks all these guys down. He's trained with them. But look at this right here. Sean, hey, 50 and D, shout out from Thailand. You see how it's international out here.
Oh, man. Shout out to Sean Andrews from Thailand, man. What's good? Man, I love that.
There's another Bangkok Vice. I don't know if he's out there either in Bangkok, but appreciate your support.
Hey, you wanna know what it remind me of when I saw him? It's like, Dalvin Cook ran like a 4.5 in the 40.
Yeah.
On that field, he was fast. That's Mally. On that field, he's fast. It's like Jerry Rice or somebody. Like Jerry Rice on that field, I don't give a damn what his 40 said. On that field, he's pulling away. That's Malachi Tony, bro. He's just one of those.
That's a great comp. So let's bring in here somebody who's always on that field working on that footwork, helping some of the young receivers with their craft. He's seen all these guys for a minute. You see his breakdowns on our channel on Twitter, 365, and that's not just a slow name. That's the reality right here. It's my guy Steve-O. Steve-O, how we doing?
Real ball knower right there.
Yes, sir. What's good? 50? Hey, what's up, D?
What's good? Hey, Steve-O, I just got one thing to say to you, man. You got to show Dade County some love, bro. I've been tired of you. You be sliding us low key. Malachi from Dade. You know what I'm saying? Bryce Fitzgerald from Dade. Show us some love, baby. Come on, man.
I'll be showing love, man. I just be pointing out, some of the youngins, man. I might, point them out a little bit more, but I show plenty of love to Dade, man. Mally and Fitz, been knowing them for a long time since their 7-on-7 days. But we knew they were gonna be instant impact guys.
Yeah.
Were you guys all lined up together at one point on Raw? Because I know you guys had different schedules and stuff as far as when you're competing in tournaments and stuff. Were you, Bryce, and Mally all lined up together at any point?
I want to say no, because Mally played with Hellstar mostly, and then he came with Raw kind of at the end of his thing. Then he reclassified, so he didn't play his senior year 7-on-7. So I think so. Yeah, Dallas and then Tampa for OT7. The OT7 that we linked up at.
Yeah.
Mally. So we had Drake, Bryce, and New Boy at safety that tournament. That was crazy. Yeah.
You
and
guys had
Amari.
Garrett Wilson and Mally Tony, man. You guys had better receivers than half the teams in the playoff right now.
Yeah, I seen Dallas yesterday. I'm happy for him, proud of him.
Hey, I like what one of your fans said. Darryl Jackson hasn't whooped Miami or Florida State.
He's the bad luck charm.
Now that man 0-4. He can't win a rivalry game.
Yeah, and Big Coop had some moments with him yesterday.
Oh man.
Oh, did you already break down the tape? Because I didn't even watch. Like, I watched the TV copy, but I was like half asleep, just kind of, you actually broken it down?
Nah, not yet. I'm gonna be doing that through today. I've just rewatched a little bit. I'm waiting for the all 22 to come in. Should be in a little bit later. And I've already bothered Buddy twice, but yeah, it's gonna be a great one. It's always good to win a rivalry game. I'm juiced up. My blood's flowing. I had my little workout this morning. I'm ready to go. And a win is even though they came back and they made this thing way closer than they should have been out. We'll probably get to that at some point, but I'm still celebrating because any win over FSU is a great win. And it's just nice to see the pecking order of the state, ESPN broadcasting that we're 6-0 against the state and that we own the state. Oh my God. I know there's some intern right now, or maybe someone who's a full-time like content creator for Miami. And that thing is cut up right now. That thing is in the recruit's inbox right now. I can imagine Dennis Smith is saying, "Hey, you seen that last night?" Like right now. My boy Frank is probably going crazy with that. Yeah. He's gonna be. They just allied that boy all the sauce he needs. So it's awesome. It's gonna be legit. Some ramifications that come from this game, I think, on the recruiting trail. I'm not gonna say any names or anything, but I can assume. You're going to have some kids popping in the relative future, especially with how, we just looked, man. Obviously, we played that conservative fourth quarter. It's kind of similar that we played in Notre Dame, but still, if anybody turned on the TV when it was 28-3, they knew what time it was. And if you guys watched the receiver review that I put out, you guys will understand that this is not something new. It was just been raining every game, and our guys can create separation. I highlighted Mally, CJ, a lot of these guys. Some of these opportunities, there were still more opportunities out there. There's a one-on-one that Beck threw to Tony Johnson that he probably wants that ball back because he put that on the outside shoulder. That might be a tutty. Yeah. So there's guys in this room that can step up and make plays.
Yeah, there's a good point by Gio, which is like this game is only close to Miami fans. Everyone, national media, and people I know that hate Miami were saying it was total domination. People weren't even watching that fourth quarter, man. People were already, getting their night out plans, right? I mean, that or going to sleep. I mean, that thing was done. There was no one, even FSU, the people were leaving. We were singing to FSU fans starting at 28-3. People were bouncing. So, like, it's not like we watch it, we live by it. Obviously, we want to make sure that doesn't happen again and doesn't come back to bite us when we're playing. Playoff game, something real, but no one like national perception. People didn't even see this. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Doesn't mean we don't got to clean it up. I'm just saying, we're fixated on, I think, more than others. But Steve-O, I got to ask you about this. You mentioned the recruiting because you make a great point. You talk about Bryce Fitzgerald and Mally on a national stage. You had Malinois and Bain do their thing a couple of years ago. Last year you had guys play. It's like if you want to be a true freshman and actually excel, I don't know how many programs are doing it like Miami right now from a feature standpoint where these guys don't just play, they're feature players.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be just ringing in every recruit's head. Every team is going to tell you they're going to play you as a freshman. Every team's going to tell you that. It's just what it is. Sometimes when you get there, you don't really get an actual opportunity to. They got actual opportunities to. We had a senior, at safety who left the program right before the year because he was in line for those snaps that now Bryce Fitzgerald's having. That's just what it is. Went to camp, was there for 2 weeks, and they said, "Oh my God, this guy is a ball hawk. He's picked every quarterback off multiple times. There's no way this is a fluke. We got to get him in the game." And lo and behold, he's pretty much before Thomas, he was our only defensive back with the interception until which Thomas played a hell of a game, but we'll get to that later. But it's just the crazy recruiting troll is freshman receiver. The receiver room is littered with, you got a guy like JoJo, all the eyes are on him. You got CJ, who everybody knew coming in, he was going to be our big dog when we brought him in from the portal. You got guys like Marion who are consistent and steady, have a lot of speed that he could work with. So if you sleep on him, he could take a big play. almost had it played to the house on that reverse. Just had a little bit more, with let the blocks develop. Yeah. And you let 73 get 5 more steps and you're to the crib. So just a lot of talent in that room, but you still just see the young guys. Just if you make those plays in camp, you will play. So that's just something that separates us from the rest of the country. Obviously, there's going to be guys, that make plays like Ryan Williams or Jeremiah, Smith. But to have them on both sides of the ball, clicking for the interception to happen, and then the touchdown to go immediately after to the other freshman receiver, it's just got to be like, it's just authentic when we tell you, hey, the best man will play, and we decided on Green Tree. There's nothing that anybody could say different about it. It's just the proof is in the pudding. Joshua Moore, the 2 touchdowns versus USF, like these guys are playing young, and Dante Simpson had plenty of snaps last night. Got his feet wet earlier in the year. He was playing, chasing Castellanos down. There was one play where I was a little worried because I thought he was going to shoot here, and he stayed engaged with him, full arm out, just in case Castellanos dipped. So he kind of took away that outlet up in the middle. So that was something I was actually very proud of for Simpson, because, Castellanos did have some success with his legs. We knew he was, he's pretty fast. He's going to make some of those plays, but just freshmen everywhere making plays, man. It was just nice to see. The future with the recruiting is just different than any trajectory with Mario. The recruits that we have are right mindset, exclusive talent pool. And then you sprinkle in some of these guys like transfers, like the CJs, the Thomases, and then I guess you can count Mesidor, but he's been here for like 3 years. But
Oh, I got some comments here I want to get to. By the way, we got over almost 1,200. No, more than 1,200 now. We're getting, with the way this is moving, we'll get to 2,000 in a minute, man. They're getting word. We got 50. We got Steve-O. I mean, the word's getting out that we got the All-Stars here for the Sunday show. Hassan Hussein, sorry, appreciate you as always. Extend Mario, pack the rock. I know you're always ready to pack the rock. Hopefully Louisville's rocking and rolling to watch one of the best teams
in the building,
best team in the country. 27 Kane, appreciate you. He's juiced up. He says, dominance, few things to clean up, no doubt. We'll get it fixed. Good time for a bye week with that one. But let me start with U50 on this, because I know, like I said, you're in the trenches. For those who don't know the spaces, which to me is like the space. Like, I do these shows, I record, I do all this, but like when I want to like actually like just enjoy myself, I pop in the spaces, driving around. It's like it's like radio, like old school radio. People just talking. Always a lot of hostility to the rivals. They come in and try to stir things up. A lot of recruiting talk and all that. So I had a comment here that I love that I wanted to bring up, which was, let me go find it real quick. Here we go from Gio. He says Francis Mauno. So Francis from American Samoa, obviously huge key part of this team. Let's put him to the side. Ruben Bain, Miami Central. OJ Frederic, Deerfield Beach / St. Thomas. Mally from American Heritage. Originally. Bryce, originally from Belen Jesuit, finest academic institution in the state of Florida. We know the IQ is there, but he transferred to Columbus there and did it in Dade County. So we've been talking about keeping not just guys home, because we always have somebody stays home, but keeping the best players, the cream of the crop, the guys, the difference makers home. I mean, 50, start with you, and then Steve, I want you to chime in just this is a national team. Do not get it twisted. We'll talk about Jacoby Thomas from Tennessee, Malinois from Samoa, Carson Beck from Jacksonville with Duval. The whole this is a national team.
Right.
It's not a Dade only, Broward only team, but keeping the cream of the crop, I think, is starting to turn in our favor.
Right. Like the Fletchers of the world, the Lyles, the JoJo's, Tony, like Bang. Like if Mario was here, if Manny Diaz was our coach, Bang is at Bama, hands down, with Saban. And Saban probably don't retire. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how that goes. Like things change like that. And I'm glad he retired. He owed me that after what he did to the Dolphins. That's a whole other story. But
he's growing on me, though. I gotta say, I was always the biggest Saban hater, and I still think the guy was the cheater of all time. But he shows a lot of love to Miami. He knows that Miami looks like Alabama.
Yeah, that's what. And I don't even. It's like, damn, we look like we're winning the style of games how they used to do it. Like that's how they did it. Our defense is aggressive. He looking at. He like, oh my, I want to get back and coach that. So yeah, man, he know what it looks like, and Mario do too.
Steve-O, the two positions that I think really since we had the good defenses back in 2018, 2017, 2016, right? Which was Manny Diaz. We had some good golden recruits. We had Shaq at linebacker kind of holding it down, Michael Pickney, all those guys. And then we had Jaquan and Sheldrick Redwine. Basically, that's the basic framework of those defenses. Mike Jack. Oh, outside we were good. I'm talking about just linebacker and safety. Those guys would fly around. They would tackle. They would do their thing at those spots. I thought since then, linebacker, safety have been real dicey. You know, we had a couple good players with Cam Kitchens, whatever, but like those, you know, Mauanoa, but those positions have been dicey, in my opinion, since then. Just from a consistency of run to the ball, tackle, you know, versatility. Like there was always something missing. What I saw yesterday and really this season, linebacker and safety, I thought has been next level compared to what we've been used to. So what are you seeing from those spots just straight up the middle?
I'll get to Thomas because I'll probably spend the most time on him. Poyser, man, when you talk about making tackles in the alley last night, 7. Woo! Coming in feeling. Yes. I'm talking about breaking down, head to the side, wrap up, going to the ground. There's no, oh, I'm falling forward. Oh, I'm going forward. Nah, bro. That boy was knocking last night. And that was just something we were used to seeing. Obviously, there was another safety with the number 7 on last year that was not doing that. And it petrified Canes fans for a long time. It probably almost emptied Hard Rock on some of those games, just seeing him whip on some tackles. So to see 7 fly up, that's a very important number in our safety room. So to see it being, you know, worn correctly, it was awesome to see. But his consistency in the alley is just amazing. There was some one-on-one tackles that he just could have been 8, 12, 20-yard gains if you miss those tackles, and it's a 3-yard gain because he secures it and he gets up and lets you know that, hey, go ahead. Next time you get that ball, I'm here. Then we'll shoot to the linebackers. Wesley, that's how you stamp your legacy, bro. That is how you play sideline to sideline and just make impacts, man. 2 onside kick recoveries. When Florida State, if they would have got that ball, oh my God, you'd never hear the end of it. So 2 onside kick recoveries, flying around, hitting people sideline to sideline, and he's wearing those Ultra Boost cleats, which are terrible. And he's still making plays in them. And so it was just great to see. I already knew what time it was when it comes to Toure. He's flying to the football. He's been a quarterback killer. But that sets the tone because you see Popo get in the game and he's on that same time. And you saw Chase Smith get in the game and she's been shining for a couple games now. Chase Smith, especially coming off that USF game and then made some even bigger plays versus Florida. So he's kind of on that upward trajectory. It's kind of probably the only time in his career he's been healthy through the whole offseason and then, you know, getting able to show some of that labor from the workouts. So at linebacker, you're talking 4 or 5 deep. I mean, we put Bobby Pruitt in late and he checked in and made some plays. I mean, we are deep at linebacker. And then obviously we get to the other safety and Thomas, who I'm not going to put him up there with one of the all-time great performances versus FSU, but that's got to be one of the best we've had in a while, especially at safety. I mean, he was everywhere. He was breaking up passes. He was making tackles for loss. He was intercepting the ball. He was sideline to sideline. He was thumping. He was that guy. If somebody was holding this guy up, you know, 8 was coming to the ball to help finish that tackle. I mean, that was Hurricane football. So I'm not going to say it was an all-time great because obviously we know what that rain game means and they'll stand for all time. But for recent memory, I can't think of a safety who's played a better game versus FSU. It was lights out. That was probably one of our best safety games since like maybe a Jaquan, like Virginia and maybe another game or two. But that was he had it. Like he was in the backfield. I mean, chasing Castellanos down and diving full extension and getting him. I mean, bro, the effort was there. There was some snippets from the camera with him talking some cash money-ish. So that was obviously beautiful to see. So shouts out to the safety room and the linebacker room. As D-Money said, Dicey is putting it nicely. It's been super inconsistent with recruiting and production. So to see Coach Mario revamp that entire back end of the defense as well as the front 7. But everything's been boom, 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 boom since he got here. So it's just lovely to see.
Yeah. And wait, I don't want to say one thing, D-Money.
Please.
Jacoby Thomas game was better than that Jalen Ramsey game. All right, go ahead.
I love it. Listen, we got almost 1,500 on right now.
Yeah.
We got 50. We got Steve 0365. You can find those guys on Twitter, on YouTube with the breakdown. Steve, you got breakdown available on our channel. That you were prophetic on a lot of stuff there. So you go back and watch it. It all still applies. 50 doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday with category 6 Canes. We got Mo Hussein. He's taking his victory lap. Got a lot of victory laps going on. I want to give one shout out to my guy Popo Aguirre, because this to me was his best game that he has played, at least that I've seen, certainly in a big time environment. He was flying around, he was hitting, he was invaluable. He's still got eligibility. And I shot him out twice because not only did he play a great game, but he's not out here like Castellanos, trying to change his name. He's calling himself, he's not saying I'm Popo Aguirre, I'm Popo Aguirre. I am Popo Aguirre. So the guy is repping. I saw his dad out there, and that's a good transition for the #1 Cuban restaurant. Talk about Cuban linebacker. Talk about them. Well, I'll do my Cuban propaganda. #1 Cuban restaurant on the planet, right there, East Las Canarias, Cuban Express. You got 7 different types of croquetas. 50. We got to get you down here, Steve-O, man. You got to see the real deal here. Got the Cuban sandwich in medianoche, the cubaritos. Got some cafecito, which I need this morning. Some pastries, all that. Some shakes. What do you know about Trigo, 50? What do you know about Batido de Mamey?
The only thing I knew about was a croqueta. Everything else, but you lost me. You lost me, man.
Steve, you're Puerto Rican, right? Have you had any of this stuff? I know there's some overlap on some of this stuff.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of Cuban restaurants around. One of my favorite, place to eat was a Cuban restaurant going up. So they definitely know what they got going on. The croqueta, you won't go wrong with those, 50. That's a good thing to have in your back pocket if you ever find yourself at a Spanish or Cuban restaurant. That's a good thing to pull out. But yeah, I love Cuban sandwiches are fire. They also have those steak sandwiches with the papitos. I'm very versed when it comes to Cuban restaurants. They don't play around. And that tostada they give you with that bread and butter. I mean, I'm there.
You gotta dip it in there. You gotta dip that in there. Hey, by the way, when you guys next time I see you guys come down, which I gotta ask you when you guys are coming down. We'll see, but you're here. But 50, when you're coming down, because I gotta get some cans of BUZZN out there to the tailgate. I got like 6 crates in my house. My kids are starting to ask questions about what it is, so I gotta unload some of them. So next time I see you guys, I'm bringing it to the tailgate.
Louisville.
BUZ. There we go. BUZZN. This is drinkbuzzn.com. BUZZN. Use code FIRST50. There it is. We got 50 on with the promo code already. First 50 for 50% off at drinkbuzzn. BUZZN.com. And you get it at Big Daddy's Liquors as well, all across South Florida. So shout out to BUZZN. There you got Cuban Redneck saying, love that Cuban restaurant. Got the gator there. That gator's getting cooked. That was a moment right there, man. Your boy Swab was in the locker room cutting up that gator a couple of weeks ago. This has been an eventful 5 games, man. I know it's a 5 games, but like we've had 5 games start where we're playing Miami, Ohio. You know what I mean? Like we're playing like these teams. I feel like we had a whole season here with these 5 games, given the teams that we played, man.
Yes.
Yeah, Notre Dame, Florida State. USF isn't a pushover. So really the only gimme was Bethune, which you're gonna have one of those FCS opponents every year. You might as well have an in-state one.
More yards than Florida, by the way, Bethune against us. Throw that one in there.
Hey,
go ahead.
Hey, he looked like the guy they were hyping against Texas. I give him that, but couldn't do that against us.
No. And that offensive line versus Texas, as haunted as it is, couldn't block for nothing for Archie. I think he's kind of buns. But that offensive line could not do what our offensive line did.
Hey, you want to know something? You just reminded me of something. Akeem Mesidor, man. Man, I love Ruben Bain. He's the guy, hands down. First round pick. Hell, might be #1 pick. But Mezzy, man, he's legit. I'm so glad he healthy so he can show what he can do. Man, he's special. He was unblockable.
Yeah, we went from he's getting special Adidas cleats made for his feet. All Canes fans were like, no, and we were going through it. And now to see him healthy, it's amazing. To let somebody play their senior year the way they're supposed to.
Right.
Let me ask you guys something just real quick about college football, because I want both you guys' thoughts on this. I was thinking this yesterday when I was watching the games before our game, and then I was like, man, I hope this holds up when our game happens, and it did hold up, which is, I'm looking at first game was Alabama, Vanderbilt. I know Alabama won the game. They got a good quarterback. They got a good passing game. But I'm seeing them throw it on 4th and 1. You know what I mean? I'm seeing Vanderbilt run them over sometimes. Like the physical demeanor of Alabama and the trench play, not there. Then I look at Texas versus Florida, and I know that Carson Beck was, writing novels in the pocket against them this last. I know the offense didn't play that well, but it's not like Carson Beck got touched, right?
Right.
And then our defensive line did what they want to do. Then you look at this Texas Florida game, which 4 stars, 5 stars everywhere.
Yeah.
Arch is getting hit every other play. Tyreek Sapp was on a milk carton against Markel Bell. I see him making a ton of plays, right?
Looking like his uncle.
Right. And then the O-line was doing their thing. So my question to you guys, and let's start with 50 and then Steve will jump in with what you think. But the trenches in the SEC, to me, one of my big stories of this season is I watch Miami play and the level they operate on, and then I watch what the SEC is doing. The days where the SEC was running the trenches, to me, that is dead. At least this season, that is dead and buried. I don't know what you think about that.
I agree with you because they can't say we what they used to be. Like, we them guys now. It's like, this is our trap now. We run this show. We got the trenches. We got the big dogs now. Like, you see Francis, usually he'll be at one of them SEC schools or something like that. Nah, he's here. Ruben Band, he would be at them SEC schools. Nah, he's here. You know what I'm saying? And then, Florida State, they got 8 Ruben Bands. So it just crazy. You know what I'm saying? It just crazy. Like, ACC trenches is up there, man. Miami trenches. Like, we're not. It's like, like the state, like, all right, everybody be like, yeah, they from Florida. We say we from Miami. That's how it is with the ACC. Yeah, they the ACC. We Miami. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. Like, we really ain't really a conference for real. Like, we really our own entity at this point. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Trenches, elite level, they can't touch us. D-line, O-line, we got the most important part of football. And that's what win games, championships, all that. We just got to – our only competition is ourselves. I'm going to be honest with you. Our only competition is ourselves, man. That's it.
Steve, what are you seeing with just like as you watch other games and stuff and just kind of look at the landscape of college football, diving down like you do? Because I know you're a receiver guy, but I know you like trench play too, and you break it down too in your breakdowns on 365 Canes football. So, like, in terms of that aspect, when you look around the country, you see Miami.
I was ready for this question. I mean, think of why Carson Beck is here, because Georgia couldn't run the football. And that's something that is crazy growing up, watching Mark Richt as the coach my entire life, really growing up for Georgia. You think of all the crazy running backs they had and how, oh, man, you got Georgia on the schedule. They're running for 200 plus. Ain't nothing you could do. They got 3 5-stars at running back, like 3 5-stars at guard and tackle. They got a 5-star who they moved to center, and now they think he's a cerebral guy, and they can tell you all these things. It's not like that no more. I mean, NIL has helped play in the field, but also just the turnover of coaches in the SEC. It's a new day and age in college football. And, yeah, like Tennessee wanted to pay Francis a lot of money, and we still got him. Those are the type of things where if you look about it, the SEC, I mean, Vanderbilt held Bama like in the wraps in the running game all the way until the 4th quarter when the game was over. I mean, so they get some big runs at the end and they get a touchy at the end. It makes you think something else. Like, nah, like Texas last year versus Arizona State in the playoff, they barely squeaked that out. Scatterboo and them boys was dogging them in the trenches, and they have all these 5-stars and, money tags everywhere. Right. So the SEC really, the trench wise, isn't as good as it used to be. I think Florida's better than I think Florida got better trenches than an Alabama team and that thing. So there's definitely, crazy. It is crazy, but it's literally true just on the eye test. Yeah. I mean, you see some of these schools that were known and, they were so deep when it came to trench plays. Now in that conference that has 16 teams, you can maybe point out 2 to maybe 3, 4 that you could say, hey, these guys have like legit SEC trenches, that propaganda that they try to put down our throat for 20 years. Yeah. That is probably only 2, 3, maybe 4 of those type of teams. The Big Ten, probably the same. I mean, they're going to hype it up, but really outside of Ohio State, maybe Michigan on offensive line. The defensive line for Michigan, in my opinion, took a step back, but their offensive line is still really good. But outside of them, who are you thinking? Penn State? No,
No,
them boys Basuda. Like
man.
I've been saying,
Hey.
Drew Allen's trash forever, but their trenches, they
They
got two of the best running backs, and they still can't block.
Steve-O, they ain't got a power forward win.
Yeah, but it's the Big Ten.
No,
Oh man, UCLA just dogged them. Like a lot of these schools, they're living off hype and old thing. Like some of these big time O-lineman recruits are for some reason at Colorado or Texas Tech. When I say some reason, I mean now that it's fair to spread, the hoarding of talent in the trenches is not what it used to be in the SEC. 100%, and it's starting to be that way in the Big Ten because the talent is being spread. You're not having 3 5-stars at one position, and when one goes down, you have the next one up. He was ready to go. These guys want to play and get paid, so they're going to teams that growing up they maybe not would have went to until they finally made it legal for everybody to pay, and not just the SEC. So let's just be real. That's what happened.
So Lord Bagington, by the way, appreciate all you do for the show, man. You're the man. He had a comment. He said, when Moan got hurt, Scott came in, he was very disrupted. Our youngins are like that. You mentioned Dante Simpson earlier, Steve-O. Our secondary linebackers are strength. Shout out to the defensive staff, especially the secondary. Yeah, I mean, look, when you're adding those Baines, when you're adding those Justin Scott, so that's not that's not an easy recruiting win. Armando Blunt, I saw he was going to go to Florida State. We know that, or at least that was where he was committed. Right. He was out there running around. I think he's going to continue to ascend just with the motor and the speed he plays with. I thought he played pretty good yesterday, at least on first watch. So yeah, you start stacking those guys, man. It starts to look a little different. I got to ask about one of my favorite players and somebody who I think you look at the receivers and you look at the way they get down, not just the explosive plays, but the way they block consistently, the way they compete after the catch, the way they handle their business off the field, just their total professional attitude. And I think it starts right at the top with CJ Daniels, number 7. And I saw his dad, Carlton, at the game. I had talked to him on the phone, but I'd never met him in person. So that was awesome seeing him. Shout out to Carlton. He actually just texted me this morning. And it's one of those things that's like, he's always like, listen, man, I know you think my son is good, but he's better than you think. You think he's good at XYZ? He can go deep too. He can take a screen and take it to the house too. And I'm like, all right, listen, I'm not gonna doubt him. You know, the guy's going on ESPN Sports Center every other week. And then you see yesterday, he's going down the field, catching that long pass to set us up, taking a screen to the house. I mean, Steve, I know you're going to be breaking down that route he did on the goal line where it was open by about 20 feet on that end breaker. So this guy, to me, first of all, he looks healthy. He had the foot injury at LSU. I think now we could see just popping in the tape of him now versus him at LSU. And we could say that there was a health situation. I think that we knew there was a health situation, but now we could see what it looks like. I think with that gone, the extra speed, the work ethic, the way he operates, he's exactly the kind of player I think we need on this team and that wins you championships. But Steve, since you got that, for those who don't know, Steve, wide receiver trainer of the Stars, he's trained about half these guys or more. When you look at a guy like CJ Daniels, is that like teach tape for you? Is that like, hey man, this is how you operate?
Yeah, it's definitely some teach tape. I mean, very impressive when it comes to his footwork and his ability to just get in and out of breaks. It's something that where you're a complete receiver if you can make, not everything be a contested catch. We've seen he can make amazing catches. The one versus USF, probably the best catch of the year still, versus Notre Dame. We've seen he can make those amazing catches, but it doesn't always have to be that hard for you. So when you create separation, you lull the DB to sleep. And it's crazy. I was just working on this yesterday with a young guy. I'm like, yo, you want to eat that cushion and then give him your 1-2 at the top and sell with your body language, man, and sell eyes. And CJ cooked that boy for a long time. I'm going to pull up a clip here from this all 22. If I believe it's 618, I can't believe I have these things built into my memory. If I could share this real quick, this is the type of release at the line that you would just like, oh my God, like this is next level stuff. Share screen allow, yeah, of course.
While you're pulling it up, Don, appreciate your support. So the number one offense with track speed looks slow against our back 7. Yeah, man, that team speed's improved tremendously back there. We got guys that can run.
Come on, man.
Oh, one cadet saying CJ got 5 touchdowns already. He can easily get the double digits. Oh, I see it. I'll pull it up right now. I got you right here.
No problem. So check CJ here at the top of this route. Can't believe I had this ingrained in my memory. 618, but some all 22 tape here. Check this one-on-one here. The ball goes to another one-on-one matchup and we win it. I could shout out Marion for physical, but look at that release. Oh my God.
Oof.
Yeah. The big plays have been there. This was one of the plays in my review. The big plays have been there. And the releases, the top of the route stuff. I mean, he's made separation. I can't believe I remember this stuff by heart. But 21 minutes into this, look at this this separation CJ is great with his route running ability. Just being able to get in and out of his breaks and create that separation. This is a bad ball here from Carson Beck just because he's on the run in the rain. And look at this top of the route being able to create this separation. A lot of people hyping this guy, this corner right here from Notre Dame. He's actually not that bad.
He's good.
So I understand the hype. Diamond release, get back inside. Now you see this pause, and now you see where that. If this ball is up in the air, he's making a play, and there's plenty of yak opportunity. So you'll see it again on this angle. That's why I love the all 22. But just the CJ Daniels, we just saw him cook a DB, probably going to be a top pick at the line of scrimmage. It would have been a blur. And now you see him just at the top of the route give Beck 7 yards to throw this ball. If you put that ball here, he's probably making him miss and going upfield.
He paused. Damn.
It's all right. It's all right. We're getting back.
Yeah. I hope he got
showed us now.
There he is.
There you go. You were breaking up, Steve-O.
All right, well, we unfreeze Steve-O real quick. We'll bring it back, Steve. Don't worry. We'll bring it right back once you unfreeze. Back in us giving him props. He's saying Steve-O's been saying that for weeks. Give him his props. 365. That's why you got to follow those breakdowns. You got to follow those breakdowns, man. By the way, real quick, so we did it already, but we got about 1,700 on right now. Again, I think word's getting out that we got the all-star team here this morning. So once you guys get your plugs in again here.
Go ahead, 50.
What is it?
Get your plugs in. We got 1,700 on right now.
Man,
they know the All-Stars are on, so I want to make sure you get some more plugs.
I ain't gonna lie. I was looking at that play that got called back from Mally real quick.
Oh, my God. We'll talk about that when we get back. Get your plugs.
Man. All right, yeah, man. Category 6 on Sports, the podcast. You know what I'm saying? The 50 show. You know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. You can join Category 6 Playbook.com where you get data-driven sports picks, merch, all 22, like what Steve-O was showing you. Yeah, you get that too. And hey, plenty more. Just come rock out with us, merch, all that. And hey, make sure y'all like, subscribe here too. So yeah.
Sir, go Canes, y'all boys, and 365 Canes football. You can also catch my reviews here on CanesInSight and also on the site. So yeah, check me out on Twitter and YouTube, 365 Canes football, and we're rolling. I was very excited to drop that because I knew this was the game that the receivers were going to explode because FSU had no choice but to try to stop the run. That's the thing that makes us so dangerous. You have to try to stop the run because you just can't go into a game expecting to win if Mark Fletcher, Jordan Lau, and Marty Brown just have the type of games that we all know they can have. Right. So they had to play aggressive, and I knew it was going to just we were going to baptize that secondary. It was the first time it's not a rain game. That Florida game, it was a torrential downpour, like crazy, raining an hour before the game, all the way through the top. Appreciate you, Baconton. Or Lord Baconton, excuse me. But it's just, this was the game for it. And I think moving forward, now teams are going to have to choose, hey, what do I want to take away on every given snap? That's so much pressure on a defense, on a defensive coordinator. What am I taking away? And most likely they're going to try to take away the run game because you just can't allow some people to run the football down your throat all day. And these receivers are going to have one-on-one matchups, and they're one-on-one matchup demons.
Oh, man.
So, a couple of things I want to get to real quick, just from the comments that we might not have gotten to. So, Nick West saying, before show's over, can we talk about 2026 recruits? Por favor. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm looking at these 2026 kids that aren't on the board yet, aren't in the boat. If I'm Derek Cooper, man, I'm seeing that the running game didn't get going yesterday because they were trying to take that away. But I don't know how you look at other teams had rather run behind those offensive lines. That's especially Texas. I mean, Texas, those trenches looked abysmal. So that's one that kind of jumps out to me, front of mind. Tank Jones, guys like that. I mean, I'm seeing this defensive line. That's where I want to be. Obviously, just the way they play young guys and the way the older guys develop into, we got the best defensive ends in the country right now. I think no one's going to argue with that one. So those are some guys that I just think if you're watching this, you're feeling pretty good. By the way, if you guys want to have some fun during this bye week, watch the highlights of Joel Irvin and Jackson Cantwell from the season, Ben Cogden. I mean, we got those guys are already committed, so we don't talk about them as much. But man, those guys are some monsters coming in. Any 26 recruits that just got your attention as far as like, okay, we're 5-0, bye week. The recruiting is going to be overdrive. Like anyone you're watching close, either like, hey, I hope we go after this guy hard, or I think we might have some juice with this guy. Who are you watching 26? I'll start with 50.
Well, I'm watching like 26, like out of who committed or
just like who's got your attention. It could be a commit. It could be someone that we're trying to get after. Like
Wingo, Samarian Wingo. Oh man, KB, he just evals elite. This man, we knew he was like that, but man, his route running, like I thought I was selling him short when I was like, oh, Ellen Hearns. No, I sold him short. He better than that. He looked better than that. He got way more to his game than I expected. And I'm also like, that's not committed when it comes to receiver. I like that kid out of Ohio, Milan Paris.
Ooh,
I need that. I'm sorry, I need that.
Yeah, he's got some juice. He's visiting next week. So during the bye week. So we'll check him out. Steve, 26, man. I mean, what are you watching there as far as either maybe guys who are trying to get in the boat or just like, hey, we got a bye week. We just won. The momentum's in our favor. Who should we be pressing on?
I was actually going to lean towards Wingo, so I'm happy you said that, 50, because he has great contact balance, and that's a great thing to have as a receiver because you don't get rerouted. He's always in his correct position because he's able to push through contact. And there's a lot of guys in 26. I've seen somebody put Fitzpatrick in there. I don't know how that's going, to be real with you, but he is a good player. Seen him at St. Thomas up close. But it's got to be Calvin, man. I cannot see him going to Syracuse, with the Miami rolling like this with his great friends, in tow. Is it going to be, 100% flip? But, man, I got to be looking at him like, yo, fam, I know you see what's going on here. He just got back from an injury, already scoring touchdowns for Northwestern. They can't be stopped. So I think a lot of eyes got to go back to, everybody's seen him with the post, the picture of Mally, the stuff, the friendship is there. The 7-on-7 relationships are there. A lot of guys that, when we're looking at, hey, getting those guys from South Florida that are the cornerstone pieces that are leaving, he fits that bill. So I'm thinking, we got to be doubling back, and especially with Syracuse looking the way they're looking, prayers up for their quarterback. Hope he gets, he's okay, because you never want to see a guy go down. But, it just looks like two programs on totally different trajectories other than one game last year. So I just would hope I would look that way. There's some guys that I'm also looking at, but I would name forever for if they were if we said 27.
Your boy Frank's working hard on those guys, and I mean, look, people hate me talking about all these guys. They're probably about to send me on a boat 90 miles south because I talk about these guys too much. But J. Rock Lopez, who's committed to FSU, if you're watching that game, you're not looking at, from a receiver standpoint, too excited about what you're watching if you're an FSU commit. And I know Mally's going to hold down the slot as long as he's here, as far as like, we know he's going to be on the field. But I think, man, if you can get like a Mally on the field, a Samorian Wingo on the field, a J-Rock on the field, none of them are like your classic, hey, this is your big guy over here, this is your speed guy here, this is your quick but fast guy here. They're all kind of similar. I mean, Mally's got probably more speed. Wingo's probably a little bigger, but it's like, if you just have a whole lineup of guys that just get open, you know what I mean? Catch the ball, get upfield, break tackles, got strength to them. Like you said, Steve, you can't knock them off their spot. Like, there's different views of this. You could build like that basketball team where everybody's different sizes and different skill sets. But I remember the Patriots, they just had a bunch of guys that could get open and catch the ball and separate fast. And you have a smart quarterback there, and he's hitting those guys. So I don't think just because Mally's holding down the slot and you got Spafford potentially coming in that you can't take a J-Rock. I think you can. He's going to find a way to catch the football and make some plays, because every time I watch Chaminade, whether they're getting blown out by some national team like in the beginning of the year, or whether they're smoking teams now, beating American Heritage, it's always that guy making plays. So, I mean, Steve, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. I bring him up just because we just beat FSU. He's an FSU commit. So that's me.
very instinctual player. When I look at J-Rock, I've always seen no wasted motion. He understands what he wants to do. When you're a quarterback and you go up to the field and you're looking at the coverages to see, and then you see who's going the ball, it's rare to see receivers look and see what kind of coverage they're going to get and adjust to it, especially at this level in high school. And he's been doing that for a couple of years now. He was doing it at True Prep North. And then now he just went over there to Chaminade, and it's pretty much the same type of production. He was going crazy. He could take you deep. He has excellent hands, great situational awareness, great overall awareness. So if he wanted in, I don't see Miami saying nah. I do know that we've expanded our board. There's a couple guys. We got some the Iowa State commit that we're looking at. That's a 6'5", 200+ mover. So there's a lot of things that we're looking at, but just that type of ball player, like he's a football player. He's not a receiver. He's a football player. He just plays receiver. So that lets you feel like, hey man, if this guy wants in, especially after beating a Florida State, would you take it? I just don't see them saying no, because we were legit pushing for him. He's a legit player. And when it comes to his intangibles, he has speed. I know people are going to say because they look at his skin color, but man, we are on the come up. Man, we are on the come up, baby. We got corners in the league now. Like, we are on the come up.
Hey, Steve-O, you ain't gotta sell me on it, bro. I watch football. I know it. I'm one of the ones that were getting flack because I wanted Fernando Mendoza and all that. So I know J-Rod like that, but I want to bring up two people. First, who should be a 5-star, in Jalen Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Second, Wyman. That man there can play both sides.
Yeah, about Jalen Waters, I don't know how he's not ranked higher, because they sent in 7-on, they send their top receivers over there to die. I'm telling you right now, he don't give up nothing. And he was a kid that we had for 2 years, and so I seen him go against. And we had a guy like Ellis Robinson who was playing lights out for us on and then we went to Jalen to hold that standard up. It was him and Ben Hanks, and then just Jalen again. This past year is just, man, he is sticky in man coverage. That is hard. He is very hard to get away from in man coverage. And when you think about like why the corner position scouts look for long arms, he is a perfect example of that, because man, at the line of scrimmage, it is hard, bro. Them things like Mr. Fantastic, like he is gonna reach you if you're not disciplined with your pad level. Even if you are disciplined with your pad level, that release, he will strike this chest. It's very impressive, to be honest with you. I don't think he needs to play much zone, but he's good in zone as well with his eyes on the quarterback. Could probably come up with more interceptions if he wasn't just strapping up man all game. The quarterback's just not looking his way. So if he was actually getting more balls thrown to him, he might have more interceptions. But it's definitely in that territory of 5 stars. I mean, it was I forgot, we had a tournament where we went like 6 games in a row, and it was like Booby Feaster, this other guy, Corian Moore. Like, we went through like a gauntlet of these are some top guys. And he did not give up a play downfield at all. Like, if anything, here's a hitch, bro. Go ahead, be happy about it. Be happy you caught something. So it was lights out. That was one of the tournament. Me and my boy Polk was looking like, Jalen. Okay, Jalen. We see you, bro. We see you.
One thing I learned is to put more stock into just like the eye test, as far as the getting out the bus test. I've learned that because, like, I remember. I loved Big Baby Seymour, Lawrence Seymour, Thad Franklin. Remember that? Yeah, that was 21, right? So I remember seeing those guys. I always liked how they played. They played good as young players. And I remember seeing them as a camp when they were getting into their senior year, and they didn't look good body-wise. They were a little heavy. It didn't look right. But I remember looking at it and be like, all right, this doesn't look right here, but I like how they play, whatever. And then they ended up making it. So that taught me, like, you got to put a little more stock on just the get off the bus test, at some point. And Jalen Waters, man, that guy, no matter if he's in OT7 with all the top 5 stars there, when that guy walks around, he might as well have the stars kind of over his head. You know what I mean? Because he just looks exactly how you're supposed to look at that position. Not just the long arms and the length, but you get some, like, there's guys like DVD who he was a hell of a player, but like he had the long arms and length, but he didn't have the body mass, to really kind of stop you. This guy's got stopping power all day. I mean, he's not skinny at all. I mean, he's gonna get stronger, but he's sturdy when he puts those arms into you. It's not just the length, it's the force of it too that he's got. And you were around him from a coaching standpoint, Steve. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw him out there communicating. I saw him out there talking too and having that kind of cornerback mentality of the confidence. But he was out there communicating with his guys, getting his guys lined up. Like I liked how he was going about his business, at least from the outside.
He's a leader, and when he's taught, people listen. And there was a time where it's always like that early in 7-on-7, bro. A lot of these kids don't play together in actual high school, so communication is a big thing early on in these like early tournaments, the Battle Miamis, the ones that are like early January, and it's pretty much the first time these guys are together. He is a leader, and he do not hold back his tongue. If you are playing buns, he's gonna let you know, he gonna tell you to pick it up. It ain't no down talk. It's like, yo, like this is not the standard. You look at that name on your shirt right now. When you look down, like we don't do that. Like that don't happen over here. So he holds the standards for sure. When it comes to talking with the coaches, I mean, it's 7-on-7, bro. A lot of these kids don't care after. You just want to ball and whatever. But bro, that thing will eat him up. That's how much of a competitor he is. He talking to me, talking to Coach KP, the defensive coordinator, and just like, yo, like, hey, I like working with this guy in the middle. He had great this, like soon the game's over, and we sometimes the way they plan it out is because they want to space out the games on TV. So we're like waiting around for 2 hours, waiting for the next game, and he's over there. Like if we had an iPad for 7-on-7, he would be on that iPad, bro. Like he's dedicated. Anytime he laces up those cleats, he wants to win. So that type of mindset is contagious, and he's also he's not a guy who talks a lot. So when he does talk, it's all about, those juices flowing when he's on the field, because he's a really quiet kid, in my opinion. Just outside of that, he's not one of those partiers or, a follower. Like he's just in his own lane, chilling, and just wants to win. So to be honest, that's literally the perfect kid that Mario and this program are looking for. They're looking for no nonsense guys that the game itself means more than the pictures on Instagram or the acolytes of this or this or that. The game means more to him. I say that with 100%, bro. The game of football means more than him. He's out with some injuries, bro, and he's dying to play. He would give anything right now to play. That's just the type of kid he is.
Yeah. All right, so we got a lot of comments here I want to get to. Our guy Lord Baconton right here. This is my guy. Here he is. Hear ye. You got to give the noble title to my guy. He was showing love to Steve-O's course, which we know Steve-O's film study is top tier. If you don't know already, you know now. But he said he hit a parlay yesterday, so he's spending that free money out here with us. We appreciate
me too.
you. So, oh, you did? What'd you have on that one?
I had Duke Cal over 54. I had Miami covering on the spread. I had Texas Tech Houston under, which hit, and it was, what was my other one? I had Vandy and Bama under. They had it at like 56 points. I was like, nah. So I hit a nice little thing going on over here. Yeah, I'm about to get some good breakfast.
There we go. Yeah. No, jump off whenever you guys got to jump off. I mean, I'm just rolling right now because I live for this. So don't feel like you got to stay on until the end. When you got to jump off, you got to jump off. But we'll have you until last time. So appreciate both you guys. He'd be saying, like Alabama and Georgia did, let's stockpile these guys with some likely to flip in the FSU corner. The kid from Sarasota Booker. I haven't heard that. It could be. There's going to be guys flipping, but that could be. I've not heard that name though. I think they like, they love Jalen Waters. Brody Jennings does his thing. Wyman, like you mentioned, 50 athlete all day, offense and defense. I think that's really the question with him. It's not so much the player, the talent, or being the guy that we need. Is more just how do you use him kind of thing, because he's good on offense too. But Lord Bacon asks, a lot of questionable calls yesterday. Personal foul on Blunt was crazy. I mean, there were some discipline issues. There were some bad calls. I thought my takeaway was we're getting a lot of penalties kind of like in the old school way where we're just like sometimes we get personal fouls, like we're getting smoked and we get frustrated and do something stupid. That was kind of like our personal fouls back in the day, or not back in the day, but like I'm talking about like recent history, we'd be down and we just lose our focus and just kind of like fake tough kind of stuff. I feel a lot of our penalties nowadays is just like we're habitually line stepping. We're pushing it, we're pushing it towards the edge, and then maybe we go over it a little bit. But it's not like something where you're like, oh man, this guy just got beat on the play before, and now he's trying to show everybody. It's more like push it a little too far, and maybe like a blade pushes you over the sideline, and you get another late hit outside. But it's not like the penalties look different, I guess. It's more like the old school penalties to a certain degree. You got to clean it up. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying it looks to me different than how it's been with some of the stuff.
Bully ball. It's not fake bravado for sure. It's not fake bravado. But when you're looking at some of the pre-snap penalties or procedural penalties on offense, the one wiped away a touchdown with Marion on the motion, and I've never seen a Mario offensive line go through consecutive weeks, especially after a bye week with false starts like we've had. So that's something we have to clean up. But when it comes to the blunt thing, that's an effort play. They didn't take him out the game. If a guy makes a boneheaded play, they usually take him out. That was a clear effort play. You're not expecting for a guy like Castellanos to just suddenly slot. He's the guy who's taking it every time he has the ball. He's trying to score. He's trying to make big plays. So as that lineman in that backside pursuit, you're 300 pounds and you're getting moving. You can't stop as that. And it looked like he didn't even have his full footing. He didn't like it wasn't egregious. So it was more of an effort play. You love to see that. Like you preach 11 to the ball, that includes your D lineman. D linemen have to come through and make tackles. They have to come in and beat backside pursuit. They have to go ahead and set the tone with the effort, because that's why we're rotating them as often as we do. So there can't be an excuse that, I was tired. Why didn't you chase down this running play or this quarterback or things like that? So concerning with the amount of pre-snap penalties and maybe some procedural things that definitely need to get cleaned up. 2 bye weeks and 3 weeks, I think, is enough for us to go ahead and clean that up. However, I'm not mad with the penalties like D Money was saying. They're not good, but they look different. They're more effort penalties. They're more these guys are trying to make plays to stay on the field, because if they don't, they know somebody behind them can go out there and make plays.
Yes.
By the way, so go ahead, Steve-O.
I was like, especially at the cornerback room, you gotta make play. You get did in on a drive, like it might be a while for you get back out there. And there's some good lineups. It's kind of like we favor these lineups, like we're putting OJ and Lucas together. That's kind of like that lineup. But I love that Damari and Ethan O'Connor lineup. It's been slowly growing on me throughout the entire year, where I just love it. It looks good, man. Ethan Connor is really good in coverage, and Damari Brown is good in coverage and brings us that physical element that you're getting with that first group with OJ and Lucas. But man, one of these guys, you get blurred, it's gonna be a while for you to get back out there, because man, that cornerback room is playing lights out.
Yeah, and you know how it is. I mean, it's a long season, right? So to me, that's my big deal. This is just like with Lyle. People are like, "Oh, Lyle is impatient. He's kind of, or just the way he's dancing too much." Like, gotta get his timing right. We're gonna need all these guys. Like, all these guys are gonna be needed over the course of the year. Ohio, I keep using this example because I hate the playoff. Me personally, to me, it's 4 is the tops. Anything after 4, you're changing the sport. But the sport's change. It is what it is. Ohio State loses to Michigan and they win the championship. So we just got to understand this is a long deal. It's a long season. You're going to need all these guys at some point. You're not winning the championship today. Like maybe in the past, at this point, Miami wouldn't have won the championship, but you might have been able to punch your ticket because you're like, all right, well, we're going to be 10-point favorites the rest of the way. We got past the hard part. We just handle our business, and we're going to be in the championship because there's no playoff. Now with this 12-game deal, it's a different kind of mentality to look at. But one play I wanted to talk about because it got called back, but I was sitting right there, so I saw it perfect. The stiff arm that Malachi Toney had on that touchdown that got called back. I mean, we don't talk enough about. We were hyping him up to the moon a second ago, so there's only so much we can hype him. But his physical presence, both blocking and then a stiff arm like that, looking like Duke Johnson's the last guy I saw that was under 200 pounds. That was stiff arming guys like that. I mean, this whole team, man, there are not like soft players do not play on this team. You can't play on this team if you're soft.
No, you're weeded out. You get weeded out quick, and the weeding out process starts on the board when they're looking to sign people, because they don't sign soft players. They don't. You have to be willing. There was questions about Bryce's physicality because he was more of a ball hawk and didn't have a lot of tape being a tackler. Now you see him out there making one-on-one tackles and tight ends in space.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the standard that you're gonna be held to here at Miami. Coach Mario does not play soft players. He probably doesn't even like soft players on his bench.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah,
So that's why Steve, that's why I laughed when they were playing the little clip of the O lineman getting on top of the Bama D lineman and doing that disrespectful. I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening to Hush captain. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, maybe under Al Golden he probably would have got that off. Not a crystal ball team.
Yeah, you're not suplexing or sumo diving and none of that on us.
None
Like,
of that.
none of that.
We ain't going for none of that.
There's a 50. Listen, first of all, category 6, you guys are killing it. You got the logo. You guys are always so professional. I always say it every time because it always makes me laugh is how you guys are so professional. And then I'm out here like texting you in bed like at 9:30. You're like, hey, we got a show today. And I'm like, oh, shoot, yeah. You know, we're so disorganized on this end, but you guys are a professional operation. You got the skyline. You got the big logo looks sick. You got the big 6 right next to you. So I got to ask you because the 6 is standing out prominent next to you. All right. So we're all focused on that 6.
Right.
The 6th national championship.
Yes.
Long season. We had a terrible fourth quarter. Everybody knows. People probably wondering why we're not talking about it more. And my answer to that is, man, we've been garbage for 20 years. I'm enjoying having a league team. We're going to tell you. But to get to that 6th championship, we know Ohio State's got a squad. Probably the most complete team besides us. Oregon as well. And guys are going to get better over the course of the year. There's going to be injuries. So it's going to be a whole different look when we get to the playoff if Miami's able to get there, which they should if they don't screw it up. What does Miami need to do better, in your opinion, 50? And Steve, after you jump in after this, what does Miami need to do better and improve on to get that 6th championship? Where's the area that we got to get right?
Definitely penalties, bro. I saw it in the Florida game. I saw it in this Florida State game. It's like, granted, last year when we had penalties, we got Cam Ward. That offense was like, you could have backed us on 3rd and 30. We were going to get it. You know what I'm saying? But with this, how so balanced we are and all that, it's like penalties are costly. So I feel like penalties and not letting the foot off the gas. Like, I feel, hey, man, I love Lau. And, yes, you should give him some run. I wanted to see more Fletcher in the 4th. I wanted to see that. Like, I wanted Fletcher to get those carries. I felt like, and I feel like we should have got Mally the ball even more. Like, hey, that 4th down play call, we should have called that earlier when it would have worked. You know what I'm saying? Not when they're like on the edge and trying to make this fluke comeback that's not going to happen. So yeah, I just feel like we just got to improve on that. Now, granted, it's a rivalry game, so I got to give them that. But man, just penalties, hands down, got to improve on it. And plastering too. Like when the off the script plays, I realized, like I saw it with CJ Carr. I saw it like with Tommy Castellanos. Like when they break out, it's hard to stop it now. But we just got to do better job of that. Because I didn't want to see LaWayne McCoy celebrating nothing. That's just me though. That's just me. What you saw, Steve-O? Talk to me.
Definitely the penalties got to get now you never want to give up free yards all day, but when it comes to just putting your foot on their throat, versus Notre Dame, there was a couple of times where we could have just closed that game early and the offense sputtered. Versus USF before halftime, we could have put those points up and we threw that pick, and then we came out and threw that pick. That could have been a 50-6 game. The offense just doesn't sputter. Then we get into Florida. We're letting them hang around by not. They blow dead a for sure touchdown. I give you that, but we still got that first down on that 4th down play, and we do not have any points. So it's a trend when we could put our foot on their throats and put up these points. We're kind of sputtering on offense. We went up 28-3, so the offense was definitely clicking. However, we just go conservative. There was a drive we went 3 and out, just running the ball, and you could say, hey, that's a little too conservative, but mostly if we run the ball 3 times, we get 10 yards. Right. But we come back and then we have the same kind of just stagnant offense. Like we can't do that. We have to keep putting the pressure on them, on the opponent's offense, because we're putting up scores, and you guys can't go score for us if it's already 28-3. The Notre Dame 4th quarter looked very similar to this 4th quarter. That's where that CJ Carr guy got all his damn stats. throwing it. It's the same thing with Castellanos, man. You were playing zone coverage, rushing 4, and the Castellanos in the fourth quarter was able to break some containment, and that's just too easy to pick a guy breaking open in zone coverage. It's a lot easier to plaster a man because you're just following that man the whole time, but you're playing soft. You're playing 5-10 yards off the ball, and they're not trying to, it's clear that we weren't trying to give up a deep play. So you're playing far back. You're already backpedaling at the snap. A lot of these passes Castellanos completing, shout out to Weezy and all them, they were 10 yards in the air, 12 yards through the air. They're kind of all at the sticks, which you could tell that's just the technique Miami DBs were playing. They were just dropping back. So they can't control the play call. However, that's let multiple teams back into the game with those conservative approaches. I'm not saying dial up your blitzes, Coach Heather, and send everybody when you're up 28-3 and give up a free play. But I mean, we just can't just be playing soft, man. They didn't score. It was the fourth quarter. They had 3 points. In my opinion, I'm not changing the defense. I might change the personnel, but I'm keeping the same status quo. We are rushing to you. We are going to disrupt you. We are going to, make sure you don't have these rush lanes. And so it was very weird, in my opinion, to see it. So offensively, we just got to have that killer instinct, that killer mentality. When you could put a team 6 feet under, you have to score points on those drives. So, and then defensively, just keeping the same aggressiveness. I mean, our players just don't look the same when they're not in that aggressive style of defense because it just doesn't suit them. For 3 quarters, they're headhunting. And then fourth quarter, you're just like, all right, let's just not lose. But obviously, I don't like that mindset, to be honest with you. And is it correct to do it at times? For sure, 100%. There's times where you just can't give up the big play. But the big play wasn't giving up the whole game already. So it's just like, did you really need to, over adjust on that? Probably not. So that would probably be the thing I hope moving forward. Because when you're in these playoff games, dog, we're not going to be blowing guys out in the playoffs. It's rare to see. Maybe not rare to see, but in the first round, probably in the second round into the championship, you're not blowing people out. There's a talent level that you have to be at to get in there, and it's very hard to blow those type of teams out. So you have to be able to put your foot on their throats and keep the pressure on them by putting up points when you need to, and keep their pressure on their offense because they're getting hit, and this aggressiveness is just not stopping. So that would be my 2 things that I think we need to work on. Killer instinct on defense for 4 full quarters, not 3.5. And then offensively, we seized the moment after that interception, doing the big play. Like, I mean, I'm not asking Shannon Dawson to run flea flickers in the fourth quarter up 28-3. But let's just get a little bit, we should be able to run the ball in the fourth quarter. So it's not overreacting about it, but there's got to be a way where we score some points in the fourth quarter. We should not go the whole entire, shebang without scoring. So that's more of my thing. We have to keep the pressure on them. Imagine the air. Oh my God. They get it, the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Now it's 28-11. And we just go down the field and score. Now it's 35-11. All right. Yeah. You guys go ahead. Get back out of your seats. There's nothing to see here. That's the type of thing I wish we would have saw.
Right. Yeah, shout out to Kane for Life for his support of the show. And he brought the question up about, the corners playing off. And I mean, look, there's a couple things. I think a lot of it has to do with the quarterback you're playing. So Castellanos can run. So, if to the extent you got your back to him, he could cause a lot of problems that way. He can create big plays just off flukes, because he's scrambling around, like he's not going to drop back and throw deep on the pass rush that we have. And most quarterbacks can't do that when you get down late in this kind of game. We could just straight rush the passer and knock you out. But a guy like this, he can create, he can make those kind of unscripted plays, which cause problems. I think that's something that they were concerned about. And they were, in their view, I'm just playing devil's advocate because I actually agree with you, but just being devil's advocate, it's like, all right, well, how many 4th downs did they hit where if this guy throws a pass in the dirt, which he's done, throughout the game, that's game over right there. You know what I mean? Like, so I think a lot of this was just, hey, we're playing a unique player in Castellanos, and we're going to make him play a game he doesn't want to play. And if he makes these throws, he makes the throws. We were banking on at least one of them being inaccurate, and we're not going to let him get behind us with just scramble ball, right? And that's at least how I saw it. But he made the throws, and ultimately it was closer than it should have been. So I agree with you. Ultimately, we were doing better when we were coming after. And there's Joe Williams right there, my guys. We got to get you on, Just. That's my goal for the bye week. Get you on, man. I always appreciate you, what you do, and your insight, man. You're on top. You're on top of the whole thing. By the way, we got over 2,000 on right now. You know, they got word we were forming like Voltron out here, so the people had to respond. But Ruben Bain, 11 pressures, ho-hum, different kind of quarterback he was dealing with. I had to bring up this play because I was there live. And at one point, this was the play, and I didn't even see it. You guys saw it on TV. What was the unsportsman like when on Bain? Did they like jump on him when he was down or something like that? Like, what was the penalty that they did?
Yeah, he like jumped on him. Yeah.
So after that play, Armando Blunt runs in to take out Bain, and Armando Blunt's a big, mean dude. Like he is not a guy that you want to kind of get physical with. He's an alpha male to the bone. And Bain kind of pushed, Bain pushed him with force, like he was pushing the right tackle and pointing to the side, to the bench, like, hey, go back. Yeah. I got this one. Because he had just been, disrespected and jumped on. And that was the play afterwards, where if you watch the sequence, he was going against Medley, and he just tossed him to the side, made the tackle on the running play. But that was like, before that he made that play, he was going to come out. But he just told Blunt, like, hey, go back, man. I got to handle this. Like, that kind of thing with Bain, man, it reminds me, different players, different bodies, the whole thing. But when we go back, and we're all about the same age. I know 50's a young buck. How old are you, Steve-O?
I just turned 30 last week. I'm getting up there.
Man. So you're the youngest buck.
You're the youngest.
I'm the only old guy in the crew. But like, I was not even old enough to watch Jerome Brown really as it happened. I watch it kind of in the highlights and watching the old games and stuff. But one thing when you watch Jerome Brown and some of these old Miami defensive lines, like, yes, they were big, they were athletic, they were the whole thing, first round picks, but they were the meanest guys. Like, they were like the guys, they weren't the ones you needed to wake up. Like, you see these 5-star D tackles, I won't say names, but you're like, hey, we got to get this guy motivated to play. Those teams, those guys, the D linemen, the big guys that were over 260, they were the meanest guys on the team and the most aggressive guys on the team. So I feel like that's something with this particular team, with Bain setting that tone, is like, man, our best, most physical defensive linemen are also the ones that are like the nastiest and the meanest, and kind of got a little screw loose with the physical nature of the game. I got to think that's changing the whole dynamic of this defense.
Yes, it definitely is. And I want to bring up one point too, because I know I was kind of hard on my team yesterday. I did a little show and all that. But, man, one thing I will say is this. I'd rather peak in November and late in the season than right now. I'd rather start peaking late in the season, because that has been our kryptonite. So I want to peak at the right time. I want to be peaking playoff football time. So that's why I want to be peaking, like, where you just know, damn, Miami is on the run. And that's what I want to see. Like, I'm kind of glad that we still got things to work on. So, like, nobody just kissing your ass. You still got things to work on. And I know the players respect that. Like, I know they on some, we could do better. So that's why I'm holding that standard too, because I know they don't want no cookie cutter. Oh, you did get. Nah, they want you to keep it real with them. So that's what we got to do. Well, yeah, I love that. Tallahassee, Florida. We did that.
Oh my God, Tallahassee, that needs to get bookmarked.
you know Miss Tony, because she was, you were on the Raw, man. I mean, it's funny, like, getting to know the parents and stuff of these kids, like now doing the storm sessions and the things I do. You can really see how the kids are the way they are. You know what I mean? Because like Fletcher's mom, she's the life of the party, man. She's bringing the energy. She's the energy of the room, which is how Fletcher is. He's the energy of the team on top of the physicality. And Mally, talk to Miss Tony, is just smooth, kind of smooth criminal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's kind of calm. And then she does it with like, she takes the insults. All right, you're gonna say that. And then once her son goes and looks like Tyreek Hill on national TV, she hits him with the Tallahassee. So shout out to Miss Tony. Shout out to Ralph. Shout out to the whole crew. Bobby T wants to talk a little bit. He's saying LSU needed 5 turnovers to beat UF by less points than we did. We punked FSU, unlike what happened to Bama. Yep. Kool-Aid tastes so sweet, but just right. State champs and on our way to the Natty. Appreciate you, Bobby T. I appreciate the support, man. I mean, really, it's not even Kool-Aid, man, because here's what I'll say. And, Steve, I'll give this one to you because, I mean, again, you do the receiver breakdowns, but you do the trench breakdowns too. You are an old school football guy on top of being a receiver savant and coach. To me, it's like if you're another team let's say you're Ohio State, you're Oregon. I'm talking the top legit teams with national championship aspirations. And let's say the season just plays out the way it's been playing out. Nothing crazy happens, and Miami's in your bracket. Nobody on those teams, either coaching staff, players, or fans, is saying like, oh man, I hope we get Miami because they're one of these teams that's kind of inflated. Everybody in the country knows that when it comes to Miami, it's like, oh, listen, quarterback, you better get pressure on him because he'll pick you apart. He's smart. Offensive line, that's as good as we're going to play. Mark Fletcher, he'll run you over if not ready. Malachi Tony, CJ Daniels, these are real dudes. Ruben Bain, you got to block him. Like, this is not one of those teams that you think is a paper tiger if you're another team. I think everybody in the country says, when you look at Miami, hey, you got to deal with these guys. This is a real team. You got to deal with these guys. There's nothing really fake about the way that this team is structured or put together when it comes to big time football.
No, there's no fake juice. So if you're one of these teams, obviously, in Oregon, Ohio State, they have dudes themselves. They have great players littered throughout their roster. Offensive line, running back, receiver, quarterback, or D-line, linebacker, safety, corner. There's going to be a dude that's playing next level, at a couple of dudes that are playing next level throughout those lineups. And so if I'm an Oregon coach, or I'm an Oregon or a Ohio State coach, and I'm looking at the bracket and we can see Miami. When I'm looking at tape, I'm like, oh my God, they have edges. They have probably the best edge tandem, if not one of the best edge tandems, with Mesidor and Bain.
The best. Let's say it. I mean, let's say
it. Then you're looking at D tackle, and you're like, oh man, Blay, Moten, Scott. These guys are flying off the football. You got Armando Blunt, 18, in there as well. And then you look at the second level, where you're like, okay, is there a weakness there? You're looking at Mohamed Touré is not a liability in any sense of the word. That boy's a player. Wesley's playing. I'm super happy he's playing up to the standard that we all thought he would be when he got here. He's having an excellent senior year. Then you look at, okay, but what about past those two guys? Then you look at Popo coming in and just setting the tone. He's a tone setter at linebacker, and he has athleticism to fly. And you're like, oh, okay, well, what about what about if anybody else? Then you see 41, who looks like, when you talk about D-Money, was like earlier, the bus test. That's a bus test passer right there. 6'3", 240, running probably, even after all the injuries, still 4.5 range, closing down. You see him running after that football. You're like, oh my God, like, you just pray someone's okay when he gets there. So then you look at defensive back and you're like, okay, looking at their corner room, damn, this Lucas guy is pretty good. Damn, this OJ guy, he was good as a freshman, and he's not having no sophomore slump. He's good again. And you look at that lineup that I brought up earlier. Okay, number 2, Damari Brown. He's thumping. He's aggressive in man coverage. He's a guy that's hard to fight off the line of scrimmage. That first 5 yards is going to be difficult in press man versus him. Then you look at Ethan O'Connor, who's just silky smooth with his footwork, always in good position. Doesn't get a lot of targets because he's in the right spot at right times. I think he's been one of the more quiet transfers because the ball hasn't gone his way. And you don't say a DB's name a lot, that means they're playing well, just because that's how it goes. And then now you're looking at their safety room, and it's like, okay, Thomas just had one of the all-time greats, games against FSU, and he's been kind of trending since Florida had some big plays versus USF as well. He's been trending upwards, getting more comfortable in that vocal leader role. And what comes with it, that vocal leader role, is you have to make plays. Ain't nobody trying to listen to no scrub. So that. And then you look, Poiser, like we talked about, some great things. Yeah, I'm gonna get to Scott in a second. And then now you have a crazy freshman with some generational ball skills at the back end with Bryce Fitzgerald. And you're like, okay, at nickel, they got Keontae Scott, who's probably playing the highest level of nickel, at least I could see. And I watch a lot of college football, and there's not guys who are flying to the football against the run versus the quick passing game and locking up in coverage deep. With Keontae Scott. So you're looking at the film just as an offense from one of these teams, the Ohio States, and obviously you got dudes, you got JJ, you got Carnell, and people like that. Some people might say Ennis, but this is where it's at. Like, you have to look about, how am I going to get these guys the football versus these? I just named 10, 11 dudes that, they're dudes. They're not just naming names just to name. And then now you're thinking as a defense, okay, how do I stop this? And you look at that offensive line, and it starts with 70 from the left side going right. You're like, oh my God, like, how are we going to get past that guy? And then Pancake and Tom and McCoy were probably one of the better tandems at left guard that we've seen in a long time, because to take that job from McCoy, Pancake had to be lights out, and he's been lights out because McCoy was a good starter last year, and we've known McCoy has been a good lineman for the last few years. So I just showed you how elite Pancake, his recovery from that ACL and the development has been for him. And then center, solid with Brock Meyer. Right guard, we all know what that is. Got to clean up some procedural stuff. There was also one where he could have went inside and went out. But 73, we know that right side with Coop and CC. So you're just thinking about as a defensive coordinator, how do I put pressure on this quarterback? And then if I dial up this pressure and they decide to hand the ball off to Mark Fletcher or Jordan Lau, who can go 80, or Marty Brown, who I love the way he runs the football, bro. There's never been sexier 4-yard, 5-yard runs than with Marty Brown, because he getting hit at the line of scrimmage or a yard or two, and he just don't stop moving those legs, bro. He's going forward 3 yards, 4 yards. I'm talking about some of these like swimsuit edition 5-yard runs. Like, those are some of the sexiest 5-yard runs you will see, and that gets like old school fans riled up. Like my uncle's a big run the ball type of guy. And I knew he was screaming wherever he was watching that ball, wherever he was watching that game, and whenever Six gets that handoff. So it's very hard as a defensive coordinator to be like, okay, I want to send pressure, I want to send in, but if they hand this ball off and they've shown the ability to adjust and can, hat on the hat with pressure, now you're giving up big explosive run plays instead of them just running the ball 4, 5, 6 a pop down your throat. And then when it comes to that pressure, then here comes the RPO or Beck just getting the football to Mally quick. That long touchdown run was a quick thing, man. We had a lot of people were like, why do we have so much condensed formation? Bro, if you look from the USF game, condensed formations is what Coach Dawson wants to do. It creates free releases for everybody. That's how Mally just, under Steve, let me get the ball right here, and then I'm going 60 yards racing for a touchdown. So there's just so much to stop. If you're a rival coordinator on defense, how do you stop that on offense, man? Every receiver is blocking like an offensive lineman. So when they're in tight like that, they can run the ball consistently 4 or 5 yards, 6 yards. And then next thing you know, when you're looking at that running back because he's 225 and it's hurting you to tackle him. And next thing you know, it's and now you have to go catch Mally in space or cover CJ one-on-one. And we still have other weapons that we've yet to tap. Man, it's hard. So those coordinators, they get paid millions of dollars. They deserve that money, but it's going to be a hard day for anybody. There's not a team in the country who can go out there and say, hey, we can stop Miami's this, because we have this. Nah, bro. It's an even playing field at most positions.
Listen, I'm gonna hold up 50. I'm gonna print some shirts real quick. All right. I'm gonna print some shirts real quick. First of all, I gotta print out Pete's slogan, the wee bit different, coming off Carter Davis's boot, because I saw his mom at the game and she was out there saying, I love that wee bit different. I love that wee bit different. So we got to get that. We didn't have to use his boot yesterday, but we got that part too when you talk about breaking down the team. But swimsuit edition 5-yard runs. We got to print the shirt there. So put that one. That's one. And I got another one for you, 50, which Plank Time, appreciate your support right there. All my ops and I know you're not serving water, so talk to him.
Hey, Plank Time said, so I got to hit it. All my ops in hell. Yeah. No glass of water. You are in hell. That's where you're going to stay. Man.
Yeah,
I
man.
love it.
Can't even hydrate out there. No water
on the schedule, really, which is Ohio State maybe on January. What's that? I gotta get the date, man. January 19th, right? 2026 in Miami Gardens. I think that's the last op on the
Syracuse, fam.
You're right.
That coach be talking too crazy, bro. He be annoying me, dog.
You know, that's gonna be ugly. I forgot about that one. That's gonna be like the 59-0 we put on him back with Dwight Freeney, and then SMU, I guess, too, a little bit. So yeah, they're in trouble.
Dabo's errand boy. We're gonna handle business this time. We have to get our lick back.
Oh yeah, Fran Brown, we are coming for you.
Yes, sir, we are.
Boy.
At the crib too.
Oh man.
Hey, what about I gotta say, I mean, Earl Little, I think, made the right decision not coming to Miami, because that's how he's gonna get on the field. I mean, he's not gonna play with these safeties, but man, he had a rough one yesterday between Mark Fletcher and Malachi, his boys from American Heritage, putting it on. They should have shown some little mercy. I mean, should have been someone else doing it to him, but like, it's the friends that do it to you, man. That's highlight reel stuff.
Ain't no friends for 60 minutes, because Earl, very super aggressive player, jumped in that box. It's a flea flicker, so it's made for that. That's what you call it for. And then Edwin Joseph getting beat with the rocker step at the top for Mally to get all that space. But yeah, Mark Fletcher, it would have been different if you got ran over and he fell. Nah, somebody else had to come and tackle him. You got ran flat over and he was still moving his feet. I mean, Earl Little, we seen him make big hits. We saw some of the big hits versus Bama. He's a guy who doesn't really wrap up as much. He's a guy who's just coming with a lot of kinetic energy. And I give him that. But 6'2", 225, my boy. You better wrap up, fam.
Right.
Oh, Georgia Tech, that's a good one from EJ. Yeah, Georgia Tech's on the list too. And Papa Cool saying the same thing. Talk about the ops, Georgia Tech. I feel like that's destined. You know, you got to take on Haynes King. Although, man, I got to say, Haynes King, who I love. I mean, you got to respect him. I hate playing against him, but you got to respect the way that guy competes, the way he gets it done at the end of games. He's always injured, man. Guy's always coming through. He's like one of those WWE wrestlers that's just getting smoked the whole match. And then at the end, they pull it out, and they're like getting carried out there, holding up their finger. But this is a different level, though, defense, man. I worry for Haynes King against this defense with the way they're hitting this year, man. I don't know if he's finishing that one.
You want to know something, D-Money? And it's bothering me because I'm like, these guys lost to NC State, and it don't count as an ACC game. But Virginia, I'm looking at their schedule, and I'm trying to see who they're going to lose to. They play North Carolina, Cal, Wake Forest, Duke, Virginia Tech. Then Georgia Tech, they don't play nobody. They play Duke, Syracuse, NC State, Boston College, Pitt. Like, maybe Pitt can pop them. But, man, it is on some – I need somebody got to lose because I need one of them to lose because I know we got to be in that ACC title game.
Yeah, listen, I mean, just got to win the rest of our – we're going to be 10-digit favorites. They're 10-point favorites in every single game. I mean, I think I'll see any of these games being less than 10 points on the schedule. So, you know, you got to just take care of that business. That's really what it is. Tony has done it again. Yeah, man. When he has one of those 3 touchdown games, we'll call him Tony. He should have had one this one, but they called that one back on some BS. I'll say this real quick. So we got to let you guys go out. You guys have been very generous with your time on a Sunday, but, you know, we got to relish these ones because we've been on a lot of these podcasts where we're talking about, you know, I'm thinking about Alabama 2021, right, which was right before this whole kind of process started. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking my vision of that game is their corners. We'd run screens, and we'd have a tight end on a corner as far as a blocking matchup, which should be a mismatch for us, right? That's what you want. And I'm not going to say names of the tight ends that we had at that time, but their corners, Alabama's corners, were putting those tight ends in the dirt, shedding them, tossing them to the side, and then making plays. And that's not happening. That's not happening this year, man. You know, whether it's Mally or CJ Daniels, our receivers are physical, our tight ends. Lofton got a little bit going here. Let me thought Lofton real quick before we get you out of here because I got to talk about this one. So people who listen to the show know I'm a big Elijah Lofton guy. I was saying in spring he was our best player. Now he's been banged up since then. People are looking at me like, how are you talking about this guy in that fashion? But those of you, like Steve, I know you've been at practice. I've seen you out there. I know you talk to players on the team. You know, 50, I know you talk to people around the program. Like anyone that was at practice in the spring or last fall knew that Lofton was one of the key guys on this operation. Now he's been hurt. So we're seeing it kind of come back slow. But I think we've seen a little bit. There was a nice play where he leaked out and broke a tackle and went for the first down. I think we're starting to see some signs of when he's physically right. We've got a bye coming up. So hopefully this is now going to be Lofton season for the rest of this year. He adds a different dynamic, right, with what he can do just after the catch, bringing you that basically a big running back, you know, playing tight end in open field. So, you know, I'll go to Steve with this one, and I promise we'll get you guys out of here. Is if Lofton is Lofton that we saw in spring, and that you heard about, and that other players talk about the same way I talk about him because they had to go against them. If we get that guy going in this offense the way he could be healthy, that's a whole nother dynamic that people got to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's because he's a Mack truck. He's 245 pounds and he's moving. That's not an easy tackle. That's not a guy you could just dive at his thigh pad and chop him. Like, no, you're probably going to hurt your shoulder or your neck. And he has real ability. He's a guy who can make plays with the ball in his hands. I was on him for a while, especially after I saw what he did to some of my boys in that Miami Central game with 4 tutties. You know, and that's kind of what started the legend of, we can hand the ball off to Lofton 30 times a game and win. But just elite just a really elite playmaker. I mean, he could do all facets of it. Obviously, as a young player, blocking comes more and more. There's been a couple times on that wham block that he's missed a little bit. But it also comes with reps because he was injured. So he's getting back into it. And you can start seeing him the way I saw him move yesterday and the game before. You're starting to see some of that movement skills come back. I'm not going to say what the ankle, what the injury was. I guess I just said it. But, you know, that's
you can watch the film now.
Yeah. So that when you're 245 pounds and you're on a numb ankle, you're not going to be moving the same. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just different. A lot of lighter guys can spat up and make it happen, but 245 pounds, it's a lot of weight on you, man. So now that you know, that's healthy, you're starting to see that movement skill and all the stuff that D Money was telling you about. And that was there in spring, man. He was unguardable. And we have really good DBs, as you guys are saying, but he's a matchup problem. Think about our great safeties. Thomas is playing lights out, but covering somebody who's his size, who's his height, and 30 pounds on him is hard. Like that is a hard thing to do, especially someone who can get in and out of his breaks. I'll pass it to 50, and I just pulled up the Florida All 22. There's a play I want to show about on Lofton, so I'll pass it to 50. But him being healthy, he's a special athlete. Now you're just seeing it.
Yeah, and I kind of like what you were saying about what he did against Central, what he did against Chaminade. Like the man just is. He I still feel he's special. 87 did have a bounce back game. I just throw that in there because I saw somebody say something about him. He did have a bounce back game. But with Lofton, you know what you're getting, and I'm starting to see like it's like he's a Brevin Jordan running back mix, and I feel like he has the potential with a healthy ankle, and from what I've been hearing, what I've seen from him, to be one of those special tight ends to where like he's going down as one of those greats because of how open he get. Like I remember talking to Pruitt and he would just talk about how he's one of those ones, like he go against him to know how to guard against tight ends because he's that special. So I know Lofton is that special, and I just can't wait because we get that back now. Offense, now you really got to pick your poison because now you got to worry about, you know what I'm saying, Malahassee himself. You got to worry about Lofton. You got to worry about CJ Daniels. Hell, and hey, man, I'm not giving up on Shorty. I feel like JoJo still got something. There's still something there.
Speaking of JoJo, I got to shout out my boy Phil right here. As a Lakeland showing love on the way to the Miami Beach Bulldogs game. I know his son JoJo is going to be swinging that bat. E-Money is I don't know if he's pitching today or what he's got going on, but he's got to show up. You know, hopefully he's inspired by what he saw. The Bulldogs took care of business yesterday, going for 2 for 2 this weekend as we get a true victory Sunday with the Miami Beach Bulldogs. Real quick though, one thing you said, Steve-O, as you pull up that clip. Let me know when you got it. Yeah, okay, because one thing you mentioned blocking, and you're right. If you look at the tape on Lofton blocking this year, especially early in the season, it's not pretty. Yeah, I really think that's an injury deal with Lofton because if you watched last year, I mean, people forget Lofton played on our offense last year, the number one ranked offense in the country. Like he played a lot of snaps, like real snaps, not garbage time snaps. Yeah, and usually his role in that offense was basically a fullback, like old school fullback, and he was hitting those wham blocks last year. You know what I mean? He was, to me, way more physical last year and effective blocking last year, more like in movements than in line. That's really where he flourishes, is kind of like those fullback wham blocks. But he's somebody that I think injury is hurting his blocking more so than his strength or his toughness or any of those factors. At least that's what I'm seeing when you compare what he put on tape last year to what he's put on tape this year blocking wise. So take it away, Steve-O.
So check it out with Lofton here. This is what this is a 12 personnel set. When you see two tight ends, you're thinking, hey, run. And here he is, an H-back. This is a ball. It is storming, raining right now, so don't blame Carson Beck for not getting this football to him. But this is what he does as a matchup nightmare. He can take the top off of you quick, right? This is wasn't a bad read from Carson Beck going to his tight end on this corner here. This is a player who made an ad-lib play who's supposed to be here and followed underneath this corner. So that's just a great job. So Carson Beck had to just put it over the top for nobody to catch it. That's a player not supposed to be where they are, making a play.
But they were running match. That looked like match on trip.
Yeah. Nice. You see him coming through? He'll drop it because he sees the corner. Yeah, so they're in a match. So this is a play where this was a good pre-snap read from Carson Beck to go here. However, Florida post-snap was able to change that. But this is just the dynamic plays he can make. If Carson Beck would have just – it's a storm game, so I'm not holding it, but this is the type of things you can make. You could be in a 12-set personnel, 2 heavy tight ends, and everybody think the run game is coming, and then you could take the top off of a defense. So that's the type of matchup nightmare that Lofton could bring. And then like we said with the injuries, man, like there's no championships are won in September or early October. So when he gets back fully healthy, which he is, and we're seeing that progression week to week, we got another bye week. So it'll be another 2 weeks before we see him again. He'll probably look even better. And by the time we get to that November football and Syracuse is coming to town, like he's going to be full go, and we should be able to expose every aspect of, what our offense could bring.
Right.
So listen, let me get you guys out of here. You guys have been awesome. We got over 2,200 on right now. I mean, again, that's when the bad signal goes up. That's what you see. We're heading into the 2-hour mark, so we got to get you out of here. But as we get home and do your plugs, get us home, get us out of here. Just big takeaways as we sit here, 5-0, heading into the bye. Just overall, give us a closing statement. How you're feeling, where your vibes are at. We'll start with 50, and then we'll get Steve-O.
Okay. Well, first thing first, I want to shout out, you know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe at Category 6 Sports on YouTube, Twitter, all that. Y'all follow the page. Join category6playbook.com where you can get all 22, like what Steve-O's showing you. You get that. And, you know what I'm saying, merch, plenty more. Just come rock out with us. But my closing statement is, hey, man, we got to talk to the governor of Florida to change the name of the city to Tallahassee. It got to be done now. Like, it's Mally now, Tallahassee. That's what it's called now. He own it. We own it. We got to win a record in that stadium. We own that. Like, I don't even see it as a road game. That's our home game. They say we don't got a home stadium. Yes, we got 2 of them. One in Gainesville, one in Tallahassee. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. And they got to put respect on it.
These guys, the Seminoles didn't get conquered by the U.S. government, and they, Tallahassee, just like that, 18-year-old true freshman did it himself, man, conquered these boys. So Steve-O, get us home.
Man, it's obviously great to go into a bye week 5-0 with 2 wins over, I would say 3 rivals. Obviously, Notre Dame's not a rival because we don't play them every year, but there is more than enough history to put that. Yeah, there's more than enough history there to put 3 nemesis. Going door to door, just rocking everybody who opens up that door. So I'm very happy about it. No injuries from what I'm hearing. So we're very healthy. We're going to get even more healthier, after this bye week. So, yeah, they just packed the rock versus Louisville, man. If any team deserves it, man, it is this team, man. Get out there to Hard Rock Stadium because this is the team you want to play and cheer for, man. They deserve it. Who doesn't want to go watch Ruben Bain live or go watch Carson Beck dice these guys up live? Like the appeal for just even casual Canes fans, even just casual sports fans in Miami and Broward in the area is there is actually something to go watch and enjoy at these games now. And it's something that we couldn't say. That's why it was, kind of hard to get these seats filled. We're a winning town. If you're not winning, they don't show up. But now we're winning and it looks good while we're winning. The product is there. And if you're an old school guy and you love running the football, you're going to love coming through and watching how our offensive line pounds on people. If you're a newer guy and you love the passing game, you're going to love how Carson Beck looks when he has 5 seconds in the pocket and Malachi Tony and CJ Daniels and the guys at his disposal. So pack the rock versus Louisville and go Canes, man.
Wait, hold up. By the way, beautiful statement, but we got to get your plugs in. Number 1, your content. Number 2, how you get these guys crafted up in the receiver room. I know, there's a lot of people that their sons play football. My son right now is playing flag when he's not playing baseball, and I'm trying to teach him. He wants to go deep. He kind of bombed yesterday. He wants to go deep every play. It's like, hey, they're not Josh Allen. It's not Madden. They can't just press the button hard and get it down. You got to be quarterback friendly, my friend. You got to get negative, man. You got to go get that football. So if you got people who have sons that are trying to learn the game at a high level, or that they themselves want to train like some of these the best players in the country train,
So you can hit me on Instagram at open_open365. Do a lot of work with receivers and stuff. Was gonna hop on yesterday with D Money, but I had a session. So if you guys want to learn how to get open and be QB friendly, you can't dictate where the quarterback throws the ball, but you can increase the probability that it's you by doing exactly what you need to do and getting to your windows, showing numbers, and a lot of things that ticks of the trade, getting negative. As you've seen that receiver review I put out a couple of days here on CanesInSight. There's a lot of QB friendly things going on from our receiving core. If you want to learn how to do it, or your son does, let me know, and we could be blurring these boys by next fall.
Love it. All right, man. It's a classic. So we had to bring out the big guns because this is the number one team in the country, man. So we got to bring in the number one team in the country, man. We can't be out here messing around. So I appreciate both you guys showing up. We got to do this again. This was a lot of fun. Let's go, Canes.
Go Canes.
Go Canes.